Let's bring him in. Redskins, Eagles scout. There he is. Man, Joe, everybody's saying, we had Joe on. He looks great. Do you ever get tired of being told how great you look, Joe Womack?
Look, I've always loved you, Roddy, but don't lie too much to me anymore now. Come on, buddy.
Sure. Hey, Joe, I will say this. You made a career of finding players. You love the players. So with what's going on in the CFL right now, how does it sit with you that they're not being paid and the fact that the league should be in week 6 and they're not on the field due to the coronavirus?
This is a situation, Roddy, that is affecting all of North America. It's certainly not just the CFL. I feel awful about it. Having been in sports and football all of my life, it's a sad, sad commentary, but it's something that I'm not sure anyone has an answer to. Do you think anyone has an answer? I don't think so. The federal government in Canada has got a tremendous load on their back trying to figure out how to help businesses, that are very, very important to the country. They also are trying to figure out how to help the CFL because it is a huge part of the history and the culture of Canada. And as an American, I have felt that for years and years and years since I first was associated in 1973. It's a very, very hard question for me to answer. Should they help the CFL? I'm not sure. I don't know everything behind the scenes that the federal government is trying to do at this point in time. Now, in terms of the players, it's a shock to them. They don't make the kind of money that the NFL players do. Certainly, they're compensated a lot better than they have been in the past. But here we go. We're talking about 6 or 8 games, possibly, or no games. How is this going to affect them? Are they not going to be compensated if there is no league? How are they going to be prorated, compensated if it's 6 or 8 games? I mean, it's a cluster, what. So I am very saddened by the situation the players are in, having been a player at one time years and years ago, and also a part of management until 7 years ago. It's a difficult situation because they're affected too. They can only do what they can do. And it's an ongoing situation that people are going to have to come together with, the Players Association, management, and the federal government. Now, is it too late for that? I haven't answered your question, but I've kind of raised the situation to a higher level.
You have, and actually it's a great answer because you're following it very closely, Joe, what's going on up here, because not only is the Prime Minister got the CFL tugging on his pants, he's got the Blue Jays doing it, and he's got basketball doing it, not to mention everything that has nothing to do with sports. So it is a very complicated issue for sure. By the way, Norm Fung's watching. He writes in and he says, Rod, please say hello to Joe Womack for me. First met Joe when Jim Spavital brought him into work for the Riders. An absolutely great guy and proud to say a good friend from Wufongo. How's that make you feel, Joe?
It almost brings tears to my eyes. I love Normie.
It did bring tears to your eyes, I think. Yeah, we all love Normie. So I didn't realize that your association with the Riders went back to the early 80s. We crossed paths in 07 in that Grey Cup year. We still talk about it finally on this show, Joe. What are your memories of 2007 with the Roughriders?
Well, it was a wonderful year. And to come in and win the Grey Cup my first year there with Eric and the gang was amazing. Now, we worked very hard, but we had a fine roster of football players, great leadership, and it was just an amazing year. I think we were 12-4, am I correct, in the season standing, and then kind of waltzed through the playoffs into the Grey Cup, and we were anticipating probably Toronto winning the Eastern Final, and Winnipeg came up and won it, and ended up being a great cup in Toronto, a great game, and we were the winners 23-19, something like that.
Oh, wow. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And I still have my ring, of course, and wear it from time to time, not often, but I get great questions about it being in the deep south of the United States and I'm extremely proud. We should have won another one in Calgary against Montreal, and we all remember that heartbreak that happened there. But it was a great time to be a writer and with great people. And, I have such fond memories of Regina. I've got so many friends there that I stay in touch with. John, Laurie, and Sarah Federico, Earl and Sherry Argue, Naomi Sauer, Sarah Moore, Eric and Francine, Alex Smith, Larry and Lana Lancaster Mueller, Mark Mueller. I could go on and on, but it all started in 2007. What a great introduction for me to come back to the Riders after having been there 82, 83.
You're talking about all football royalty there for sure, and the Federico family are fantastic people. Hey, Joe, is Daisy still with us? How's Daisy?
I wish.
Okay, sorry. I just remember you bringing Daisy up.
I know, famous Daisy May. Everybody knew Daisy May because she was usually with me, and boy, did she love, as I still call it, Taylor Field. I used to let her run.
I know. I was telling stories about that in hour one. I love, by the way, Joe's scouting stories. And I'm not going to get into the ones you told me about scouting certain players. You remember that one from Ryan Leaf when you were out there? But you were working for the working for the Redskins. So with what's gone on with them, how do you feel with the name change and so forth? How do you think it's going over in Washington with the fans and the staff?
Well, I certainly don't think it's going over good with the fans. They have a great, great fan base. Now, they haven't played very well for the last decade. I could get deep into that, but there's no reason to. Their owner is still the same when I was there. I hate to see this kind of change. I think it's overboard. Change is a part of life, as we all know, but, I don't think there's any discrimination about calling a team the Redskins. I mean, people would argue with me. I know that, but there's a great history there. I don't think there's any intent to upset any particular group of cultural people there. And I feel the same way about the Edmonton Eskimos. I mean, Double E. I mean, most people in the States know that one. Double E. The Edmonton Eskimos. I'm so sad to hear that. I don't think that that's a discriminatory nickname. I think they're probably proud of Edmonton, and calling themselves Eskimos. Now, I certainly am sensitive to certain prejudices, but, Roddy, you can tell that I'm a real historian, and, I like history and the events that have gone before us, and I'm just not sure changes of names. Someone told, no, I won't go into that. Danny McManus told me a funny story. I won't go into it. But,
how you thought about it? You saved yourself. Probably a good decision, Joe.
Yes.
What's keeping you busy these days?
Well, Roddy, thanks for asking. I came back and coached for a couple of years in high school here with a great high school called University Laboratory School. It's LSU's lab school where they do a lot of training student teachers that are in education at LSU. And I think they're ranked 48th in the United States academically, and a really, really fine athletic program. I coached defensive backs and special teams for a couple of years there, and we won a Louisiana State championship. It would be like winning, a province championship in Canada. We put players at LSU, Stanford, Alabama. So you can tell we had a really good program there. And since then, I have become a certified personal trainer, working with the general population. And also, I'm training young athletes. I've got 4 today, late this afternoon, that I'm training. Football players, cross country, wrestling, soccer. So that's kind of how I'm spending my time. It's keeping me busy, Roddy.
Oh, good for you. I tell you what, man, your name comes up a lot around here, and it's always good, of course. And New Orleans is on the wife and my bucket list, so we're going to come down there, rent a car, drive around. We're going to visit you, the Swamp Dog. We got a lot of people to see down there, Joe. So I'm glad to see that it's going so well and you're looking so great, and I just appreciate the time.
Thank you, Roddy. I really do appreciate that. Thank Clark for me. He really helped me get this going, and I follow you often. And Roddy, you know what I think about you. I miss that South End Starbucks meetings that we had every early morning.
I know we covered a lot of ground, didn't we? we really did.
Thank
you, Joe.
I'm proud of you, Roddy.
I'm proud of you too, Joe. Good hooking up, and we'll see you in Louisiana.
Thank you, buddy. Please do.
Joe Womack checking in from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and there is a dude. There is, as Luke Mullender would say, a football guy.
Absolutely.
We're just scratching this. We didn't even tell any stories there.
No. Literally just scratching the surface.
We'll break and be back with more. Daniel Wapple coming up. We'll talk about today's poll, the Canadian Football Hall of Fame induction class. It's the RP Show, Game Plus TV Network, and listen live at rodpedersen.com.
Building a deeper connection with our fans by putting them in the show. It's a new era of sports talk. The Rod Pedersen Show airs from 10 to noon, Monday to Friday on Facebook Live. Join the conversation today and tune in. Online, on your phone, at home, at work. Follow us on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. And subscribe on YouTube for all the content you want to watch. Don't wait. Do it right now.